The crime of Cuenca consisted of a series of judicial miscarriages and police misconduct that involved torture and prison sentences for the defendants, for a crime that never existed. The alleged crime related to the disappearance of a shepherd in the province of Cuenca, Spain in 1910. The facts of the case: Jose Maria Grimaldos Lopez, a young 28-year-old shepherd from Tres Juncos, went missing. He was nicknamed El Cepa, the Stump, apparently due to his low height and lack of intelligence. He worked at the farm of Francisco Antonio Ruiz, and was constantly mocked by the farm manager, Leon Sanchez, and also by the security guard Gregorio Valero. On August 20, 1910, Grimaldos sold a number of sheep belonging to him, and after that he disappeared. Subsequently, it was found that he had gone to bathe at La Celadilla, a shallow lagoon where bathers covered themselves in mud reputed to have curative properties. La Celadilla is located in the municipality of El Paternoso, about 4 kilometers from the town. After several weeks of Grimaldos' disappearance, rumors started to spread around the village about his possible murder, with the assumption that he was murdered by someone who wanted to steal the money he had earned from the sheep sale. His family knew about the taunts that Grimaldos received, as he always talked about them at home. Therefore they decided to file a complaint over the disappearance in the court of Belmont, accusing Sanchez and Valero of being the suspected perpetrators of the alleged crime, so they were arrested to be presented in a trial. In September 1911, the case was dismissed. After the interrogation of the detainees, the summary of evidence was heard and the judge released the defendants due to the lack of evidence. New prosecution and imprisonment after a couple of years. In 1913, at the insistence of the Grimaldos relatives, the case was reopened. With the arrival in town of a new judge, Emilio Izazaganique, Grimaldos' family reported the case again. Once again an arrest warrant was served on the same suspects, thus beginning a long ordeal for them. The civil guard began torturing and mistreating the detainees to obtain confessions from the defendants and to discover what they had done with the missing corpse. And so it continued. November 11, 1913, when, following the judge of Belmont's order, the judge of Osa de la Vega certified the death, stating that Jose Maria Grimaldos Lopez, native of Tres Juncos, died on August 21, 1910 between 8:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. as a result of having been murdered by Gregorio Valero and Leon Sanchez. The record reflects note in the margin: the body could not be identified because it has not been found. In 1918, after being in prison for 4.5 years, the trial began against the defendants with a summary riddled with contradictions and unclarified aspects. The trial ended with a sentence that condemned the defendants to 18 years of prison by order of the provincial court. The court who sentenced the defendants hardly deliberated for 30 minutes, and the 12 members composing the jury judged them responsible for the death of Grimaldos. The defendants managed to avoid death penalty, as the garrote was then still in use at the time. Valero served time in the prison of San Miguel de los Reyes in Valencia, whereas Sanchez served his sentence in the prison of Cartagena. Reprieve on July 4, 1925, they left jail after serving 12 years and 2 months of their sentence, as a consequence of 2 decrees of pardon. The reappearance of Jose Maria Grimaldos on February 8, 1926, the priest of Tres Juncos received a mail from the priest of the municipality of Mira, who requested the baptism certificate of Jose Maria Grimaldos in order to celebrate his marriage. The priest of Tres Juncos, astonished by the news, decided not to respond to the priest of Mira. Meanwhile, as time went by, Jose Maria Grimaldos became impatient with the delay to his marriage and set off for Tres Juncos. When he showed up in the village, the villagers could not believe what they saw. Then the judge of Belmont interceded and ordered the arrest of the man. Within hours, the press got hold of the news and it had a huge impact on public opinion. After the indisputable identification of Grimaldos, the Minister of Grace and Justice ordered the retrial of the case and ordered the prosecutor of the Supreme Court to appeal for revision against the sentence of the hearing of Cuenca. On the aforementioned order, it is noted that there are reasonable grounds to believe that the confession of Valero and Sanchez, essential basis of their convictions, were extracted under exceptional continuous violence. Aftermath: the Supreme Court declared the ruling issued in Cuenca in 1918 void. As well as establishing Sanchez and Valero's innocence, the Supreme Court established the nullity of José María Grimaldo's death certificate, and established the corresponding compensations that the state had to pay to the prisoners in such cases. A trial was held of those held responsible for the miscarriage of justice. Sanchez and Valero ended their days in Madrid, far away from their village and from the people who had condemned them. There, they were offered jobs as security guards in the city hall. In literature and theater, the writer Eliseo Garcilaso, Cuenca's civil governor at the time these true events occurred, wrote the social novel El Crimen de Cuenca, 1932, reprinted with prologue and edition by José Esteban in 1981. Sometime later, the well-known writer Ramon J. Sender wrote the novel El Lugar de un Hombre, 1939. The writer Luis A.S.O. López de Haro, native of San Clemente, Cuenca, wrote some 4-line stanzas with the name El Crimen de Cuenca, which were edited in one of his numerous collections, Madrid, G. Hernández and Gallo Size, 1927. Pilar Miró, the producer, made a film in 1979 entitled The Crime of Cuenca. It was scripted by Lola Salvador Maldonado, who also narrates the facts in a book published with the same name by the editorial Argos Vergara. The film makes a strong plea against torture, and it is perfectly understood that the crime the title refers to is the one committed by the civil guard when torturing the suspects. The mathematician Carlos Maza Gomez also studies the case in his book Crimes in 1926. See also Forced disappearance list of solved missing persons cases, miscarriage of justice, perverting the course of justice, presumption of innocence. Notes. References. Bibliography: Angel Luis López Villaverde, El Crimen de Cuenca en 30 artículos, Antologia Periodística del Error Judicial, University of Castilla-La Mancha, 2010.